Did Zuckerberg's dream team become a nightmare? Did he get scammed by ScaleAI and dirty data? Have you seen this?
Well, not really.
Not
But
really.
it sounds really exciting because it's Mark Zuckerberg getting scammed, so it is exciting.
Do you remember the dream team? How long has that been being put together? How long has Zuckerberg been dishing out hundreds of millions of dollars
Yeah.
to pick up the likes of the key people from OpenAI, from Anthropic, from just the AI industry in general? How long? What, 2 months?
Yeah.
And it's already falling apart. They purchased ScaleAI, or at least they purchased 49% stake in ScaleAI, owning a minority stake in the whole entire company. But really, I think they were just after Andrew Wang to enroll him into Zuck's new efforts of the MSL, the Meta Superintelligence Labs. What people are finding that are working with this in this MSL group is that the ScaleAI data is actually pretty terrible. They're actually turning to ScaleAI's competitors to get better data using companies like Surge and Mercor. I think you call that Mercor. So ScaleAI is basically just, I don't know, maybe it's just not good enough. And it's not necessarily the reason. What they found was the data was produced by cheap labor. And the sort of quality they need at this point is from the likes of like doctors and lawyers and scientists put together through this, low income, messy thing. So people are getting frustrated and people are actually leaving because of this. Now the senior, well, not necessarily, again, it's not because, I think this is just piecing everything together here. And, one thing leads to another because we're only 2 months in and the senior vice president has left because of it, and other members are leaving.
How does this work? The way I understand, there are these companies that are specialized in cultivating and collecting data. Actually, what do they do? Do they go to do they buy books, scan them, and put them in Dropbox and something like that? How does that?
Do you know what? I couldn't even tell you, but we can hazard a guess, and my guess would be yes. They're scanning books, they're doing research, they're collecting data from various resources.
Probably ask them to gather information, essentially, right? Categorize thing. I believe there is also some tagging going on, so they tag information like images, etc. It's not just like uploading things. They have to understand, they use the human to understand what the context, what is the context of this paper or whatever, and add some notation. That's I believe what is happening.
Using a combination of automated tools and distributed network of human annotators in a process known as human-in-the-loop data management. The company partners with clients to gather raw data in various types such as images, text, video, audio. Sounds like a lot of manual labor to do so. This is just one of the pieces of this puzzle, really, when it comes to this whole falling apart of the MSL group and Meta's efforts to reach superintelligence. Is it to do with the fact that they've lost faith in the person who's leading their team? His own company is just a shell of a company. It's not very good. It's not as good as they maybe Andrew Wang sold the dream and Zuckerberg took a sip of the ScaleAI Kool-Aid. I don't know. These are American idioms that I don't really truly know.
Kamran is commenting saying that they use label data and then supervised learning, which is used for training the model. They also use unsupervised learning technique and semi-supervised learning. Okay, so there are a bunch of different techniques.
Whap, whap.
Nobody feels bad for Mark. So.
Yeah, he's tried to throw money at something, and
yeah,
it's just not panning out for him. And to be honest, we could probably go into the next article. Essentially, Meta are now looking to ChatGPT, to OpenAI, to Google to actually partner with them in order to support their own Meta Superintelligence Labs. It begs the question about OpenAI, Llama being open source, and if they're behind the scenes using Google and using, ChatGPT and stuff like that, is it truly open source? I think ultimately it's basically encouraging their teams to use third parties as much as possible to work. And we haven't spoken about this, but I'm close with some of the guys at Meta, and was chatting to them a couple of weeks ago, and they're fully in on Claude Code. They use Claude Code on a daily basis to do their work at Meta. Now they're not part of MSL, not that close.
And are they allowed?
Totally allowed. This is paid for. This is a subscription that's given to them. They're not paying for them themselves. So it just goes to show that Llama and Meta's own AI systems just aren't there yet. I know we kind of knew this, but it's just coming to light how not up to scratch it is. So Zuckerberg's bet is truly falling away. Meta also signed a 6-year cloud computing deal with Google worth over 10 billion. And that's using their servers and stuff like that. And this is not, I don't want to try and make something that's not already being done. iPhones use Samsung screens, arguably better screens than Samsung's their phones use, their own phones use. So, this isn't crazy to know that you use other people's.
That's an interesting point and comparison. That like Samsung is making the screens for iPhones. Sony is making the camera sensors for iPhones. So based on this, maybe the companies who make the models might not be the winners, but the companies that put together whatever model to create a product, they will be the winners. And we see this already. We see that these companies are, starting to work with one, but then switch to another company based on like the quality, and which changes, like it feels like every week.
Yeah, that's Meta falling to absolute pieces in a nutshell. This is part of a larger conversation on my show, Cmd+AI, which we stream live every single week. We discuss the news and all things related to AI in the world of design and web. Catch us next week and join in the banter.